Nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are nobody. Remember, child, everybody get that problem for head.
I am Priestess Osun Funke, and today I am going to do a reading to find out what do the ancestors and the Orisa want us to know about fibroid tumors. Uterine fibroids are a problem that are plaguing many women in the African American community. And I want to find out what the ancestors have to say about this. I'm going to start with the cards. I'm going to ask the ancestors, what do they think about the problem of uterine fibroids and how it's affecting so many descendants of the diaspora at this time? What do the ancestors want us to know about fibroids? Okay, so I actually had my deck upside down. So the first card I have is the card for the nobleman, okay? And this card has to do with nobility. It's talking about our rich history and bloodline, and it's talking about our ancestry, okay? So they're starting the reading off acknowledging that we have a rich ancestry. The next card I have is the card for the student, okay? So this card is talking about the need to study or the process of learning something new or being an actual student. Then I get the card for bliss, but for me it was upside down. And so this is talking about the ancestors basically being unhappy. So what they're saying, if I read this like a sentence, is we have a rich and noble bloodline or background. We need to study that. And because we aren't, they're unhappy. Okay. The next card I get is the card for seduction, which talks about one being seduced or coerced. Okay. The next card I get is the card for the drifter. This is talking about instability. The next card I get is the card for the mothers. Wow. So they are answering my question straight away. They're saying the mothers are being seduced into instability. Okay. So it's possible that the fibroids are a result of some sort of instability. And because they told us initially that we have a rich bloodline or a rich ancestry that we need to study, perhaps this instability is related to the fact that we really don't know who we are or where we came from. Come through, ancestors. Okay. So we have the card for the informant, and for me, it was upside down. So this is saying that there's something that we haven't been informed about, something that we don't know, okay? Then the next card I have is the card for the end of illusions. So this is talking about the need to see things clearly, followed by the card for logic, but it is upside down, okay? So this row of cards is saying, listen, nobody has told you that you guys need to use logic and see things clearly. So they're saying that perhaps the cause or the cure for this epidemic of uterine fibroids is the fact that we're not approaching it with logic. Okay, let's see what else they have to say. I get the card for the gambler. Also, it's upside down. Okay, so a lot of cards in this reading are upside down, which means that things are not as they seem, that there's a lot of things that are topsy-turvy, a lot of confusing and perhaps even deceptive energy around this particular topic. This is very interesting. So this card for the gambler is really talking about taking unnecessary risk. Okay. And because it's upside down, it's almost like it's an advice, like you guys, you women, don't need to take unnecessary risk. Okay. You need to make sure that your strategy is right and exact. And I get the card for the oracle as well, and it is upside down. So this is saying this is not your story. What is happening right now is not from the oracle. Okay, this epidemic of women having issues and infestations in their womb, that's not your destiny. You've been provoked. We've been provoked or charmed into having this issue. This is not something that belongs to us. This is not part of our destiny. This is not part of that royal lineage that we come from. We don't have issues with our wombs, is what the ancestors are saying historically. Okay. I get the card for the artist, also upside down. This is talking about deceptions and lies. I get the card for self-deception. And I get the card for the messenger. And it's also upside down. So it's saying here that you guys are deceiving yourselves. We haven't lied to you. We haven't given you deceptive messages. You're not tapped in. You're not hearing what you need to know. And you're actually deceiving yourselves. So by them speaking about self-deception, it makes me wonder if they are saying that perhaps we're buying into this epidemic. I'm hearing that they are saddened by the number of hysterectomies that women in our community are receiving. I'm hearing that they feel like we're buying into this and we're believing that there aren't natural cures and that we have not turned to the ancestors or relied on the ancestors for help. That we're not leaning into our ancestral energy and our noble bloodline. The next card I get is the card for the witch, and it is upside down. Followed by the card for the father, and it is upside down. Followed by the card for the mystic, and it is also upside down. So what they're saying here is that there are just some things that we can't see, that we're not seeing clearly. We're not seeing the fact that this is an illusion and that there is witchcraft or magic being worked on our women. That we're not listening to our fathers. Okay, we're not listening. We're not hearing clearly, which is why the card was upside down. We're not hearing clearly from our fathers and from our ancestors. And we're not listening to spirit. Okay? We're not listening to spirit. The next card I get is the card for the assailant. Okay? So this is talking about something that is assailing us as a community. I get the card for obstacles. Okay? Followed by the card for laser vision, which is upside down. So this row of cards is saying that what assails us is the obstacle of not seeing things clearly. Laser vision upside down. We're not focused. We're not seeing things clearly. And so that is what is assailing us. Okay. So I think the message here with the cards is very clear. So I'm going to leave it right here. The ancestors have told us that we come from a noble background, that our instability has cut us off from communication with the ancestors, that we're not hearing things clearly, that we're taking unnecessary risk with our wombs, that we are definitely being influenced by some sort of witchcraft or spiritual warfare, and that basically what is assailing us is a lack of focus. Okay, so we need to be more focused on this issue as a community. So I'm going to leave it right here with the cards, and I am going to use the bones to divine further and continue to see what the ancestors have to say. I'm going to ask the ancestors and the Orisa, what do they want us to know about this epidemic of uterine fibroids in the descendants of the diaspora? What do they want us to know? Okay, just going to remove the items that are off the board. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention is the fact that I have the danger stone over the witch. Okay, so this is talking about the fact that there may be some sort of spiritual warfare at work here, and that we should be careful. The money stone is over balance. It's actually over the icon for the Orisa Ibeji. And it's saying that for us, balance is going to pay off. Okay. I get the heart over abuse. And I also get the tiger's eye, which is the creativity stone, over abuse. And so they want us to know that abuse of our bodies, but in particular, they're talking about our relationships, our love, women, okay? They're talking about the fact that our relationships are, and the abuse within those relationships is leading to uterine fibroids. It's creating, because I have the creativity stone as well. So they're saying that perhaps the abuse that we endure in our romantic relationships is contributing to the uptick in uterine fibroid cases that we see in our community. I have the quarter over the interruption of destiny. So they're saying that this is not something that is meant for us, and that it's costing us a great deal because it represents an interruption of our destiny. I have the nickel and the penny over dreams, which talks about the fact that they are trying to communicate with us through our dreams. But it's not paying off. So that's what the penny and the nickel is about. Like they're not really getting through to us. They're trying to communicate with us through the dreams, and we're just not getting it. I have the eraser over the fool, as well as the snowflake jasper. So this is talking about us, the need to erase foolishness, to stop being foolish, and to stop being uniquely foolish. Okay, so they're saying that the way that we are approaching this and the situation that we're in right now is something that is very unique in our history, okay, in our lineage, in the story of our people, and that we need to stop being so profoundly foolish. I get the rose quartz over the Orisa Olokun. So this is talking about that our self-love is buried, that we're not loving ourselves the way that we need to. And we don't have the proper level of esteem, of self-love and self-esteem that we need to. And that is contributing to what we're experiencing with this epidemic of fibroids. I get the clear quartz, which is an amplifier stone, over meditation. So they're saying that we need to meditate more, and through that meditation the messages will be amplified. We will hear better from the ancestors. This is very interesting, I get the survival stone over exercise. Okay, so they're saying that if we exercise more, it will help. It will lead to our survival. We'll be better able to navigate this situation if we exercise more. I'm definitely taking that to heart. So we have a little cluster right here of the survival stone over exercise. We have the petrified wood over exercise as well. So they're saying that practice of exercising is petrified. We're not doing it. It's dead. It's fossilized. We need to do better. And then in this same clump, in this same area, I have the stone for transformation that fell over the woman. So right here, this is a whole sentence. Okay, sisters, is saying that our survival depends on exercise, which for us right now is dead. We're not doing it, and this alone will transform the women. So they're saying if we exercise more, that it will change what we're experiencing in terms of uterine fibroids and this being an epidemic in our community, because they've already told us this is not part of our destiny. Historically, this is not something that we have dealt with. And they also told us over here that balance is necessary. Balance is going to pay off. So we need to balance off what we're eating. We need to balance out the warfare that is being waged upon us. We need to balance all of those things out with self-care, self-love, and exercise. This is a very clear message. The throat chakra is being indicated here with the smoky quartz. And I also have a cluster of cowrie shells, which again is the ancestors speaking, and it's over the throat chakra. So this is saying that we're not speaking to each other, that we're not talking about this issue. We're not talking about it amongst ourselves, and we're not talking about it in ways that it's able to help us. And more importantly, because of all these cowries crowded around this throat chakra, it's saying we're not talking to the ancestors. We're not bringing our troubles to them. We're not crying on the shoulders of our mothers, whose greatest desire is to help us. So we must begin to speak to the ancestors, pray to them. If you're diagnosed with uterine fibroids, if it's something that has recently begun to run in your family, talk to the ancestors about it. Pray and meditate like they've advised us, so that we can start receiving those messages that are going to help us treat this and heal ourselves of this issue. I also have the trophy over the third eye. Okay. So again, they're saying, you guys are not seeing things clearly. Tap into this ancestral energy. Pay attention to your dreams, meditate, engage that third eye so you can see for yourself what's happening with regard to uterine fibroids, and you can see for yourself how to heal yourselves. The message is the same right here in another area. I have the sober stone, the amethyst, which for me represents the sober truth over communication. I also have the shark's tooth, which is danger over communication. So really they're saying the sober truth is you're not speaking to who you need to talk to, which would be the ancestors, and those who you are choosing to speak to are giving you dangerous information. Okay, they're telling you that you need to remove your womb, that you need to take pharmaceutical medications. These are things that you're being told that are damaging to you, while at the same time you're not speaking to those who can give you the information that will help you, your ancestors. All right. And then lastly, I have the cornucopia. And the cornucopia, which represents our inheritance, our spiritual inheritance, I have the skeleton over it. And I also have the beetle, which is laying down on its back. It's dead. So this is saying that we're not tapping into our inheritance. We're not accessing our ancestral treasury. We're not tapping into the knowledge and the healing that is available to us in our ancestral treasury. We're just letting our riches sit there and rot while we go to doctors and let them remove our wombs. I think this was a very clear and concise message. And with that, the ancestors have spoken.
If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody.